The First World War is often described as a clash of empires, an industrial catastrophe, or the birthplace of modern warfare. Yet beneath these vast explanations lies a quieter, more devastating truth. The war consumed youth before it had fully become adulthood. It took people at the precise moment when life should have been expanding and replaced possibility with interruption, fear, and absence. The Great War did not merely kill young people. It redefined what youth meant, and in doing so, altered the future of entire societies. Before 1914, youth was understood as preparation. It was a stage of life devoted to learning trades, completing education, forming relationships, and imagining futures. The war shattered this progression. It compressed adolescence and adulthood into a single, brutal transition. Millions crossed from schoolrooms and apprenticeships directly into trenches, from family tables into casualty lists. This is the story of a generation that never fully arrived, a generation interrupted not only by death, but by the permanent reshaping of time, identity, and expectation. Youth before the storm. In the years before the war, young people stood at the edge of possibility. Industrialization had opened new paths: factories, offices, technical schools, universities, expanding cities. Rural youth expected to inherit land or trades. Urban youth expected mobility, progress, and opportunity. Life was not easy, but it was forward-looking. Education systems expanded. Apprenticeships formalized. Social movements flourished. Youth culture began to emerge as something distinct, energetic, questioning, future-oriented. Then mobilization arrived. The war did not ask young people what they wanted to become. It told them what they were needed for: the abrupt crossing. For millions, the transition from youth to soldier happened almost overnight. Classrooms emptied. Workshops lost apprentices. Fields lost farm hands. Young men who had never traveled beyond neighboring towns found themselves transported across countries and continents. Training camps replaced schools. Drill replaced instruction. Discipline replaced exploration. Youthful confidence was repurposed into obedience. Curiosity into caution. The war demanded that youth abandon uncertainty and adopt certainty. The certainty of orders, routines, and survival. What should have been years of growth became months of adaptation. Experience without preparation. The war forced young people into experiences no generation had faced at such scale. Violence arrived before maturity. Responsibility arrived without preparation. Fear arrived without language. Many had not yet lived independently. They had not married, built careers, or formed adult identities. Yet they were asked to endure conditions that shattered even hardened veterans. Youthful resilience became a survival mechanism rather than a developmental stage. Optimism hardened into endurance. Emotion compressed into silence. Those who survived often felt they had skipped something essential. Not innocence, but continuity. A generation measured in absence. The war's impact on youth extended beyond the battlefield. Entire age groups thinned dramatically. Universities reopened with missing classes. Professions lost their next generation. Villages lost future leaders, artisans, and parents. The absence reshaped demographics. Birth rates fell. Marriage patterns shifted. Communities aged unevenly. Entire societies carried the imbalance forward for decades. Youth was not only lost individually, it was lost collectively. Youth at home, interrupted differently. Not all young people went to the front, but none escaped the war. Those who remained at home entered adult responsibilities early. Teenagers replaced absent workers. Young women entered factories, offices, farms, and hospitals. Childhood shortened. Adolescence narrowed. Education paused or transformed. Dreams adjusted. Plans deferred indefinitely. The war forced youth to become functional rather than aspirational. Return without arrival. For those who survived and returned, youth did not resume where it had stopped. They came back older than their years, carrying experiences that separated them from peers who had not shared them. They entered adulthood without transition. Careers began late or not at all. Relationships formed under the shadow of memory. Confidence was uneven. Expectations were smaller. Many veterans later described feeling permanently displaced from time, as if their lives had been rerouted rather than delayed. The war did not end youth. It unmoored it. Memory and the silent gap. As years passed, societies built narratives around sacrifice and victory, but beneath ceremonies lay a quieter reality, an entire generation that never fully expressed itself. Their letters, photographs, and interrupted lives became fragments rather than continuities. They existed more as memory than presence. History often counts casualties. It less often counts what never happened. The First World War stole futures before they could be chosen. Legacy of a vanished generation. The war's impact on youth reshaped politics, culture, and social structures. It influenced post-war skepticism, artistic disillusionment, and generational mistrust of authority. The sense that progress was fragile, that life could be interrupted without reason, settled deeply. The war taught the world that youth was not protected by time. It could be spent like ammunition. Closing reflection. The Great War did not only destroy cities and empires, it erased beginnings. It took young people at the threshold of life and forced them into endings, some immediate, some slow, some invisible. And in doing so, it left behind a silence not marked by graves alone, but by the absence of lives never fully lived. That silence still shapes the modern world.